Okay, so we're going to start looking at multiplying decimals. So first we're just going to look at a basic multiplication problem that we've been doing, right? The 2-digit by 2-digit. So when you solve a 2-digit by 2-digit, remember that you multiply everything on top by that first digit here. Then you put your placeholder below and multiply everything on top by your second digit. Then you add them together to get your final answer. Okay? So when we're multiplying with decimals, the place value issues are the same. What's really, really critical is remembering how to place this decimal. Okay? So when you're multiplying with decimals, the process is the same as multiplying whole numbers. It just looks a little bit different in the end. Okay, so let's start out doing it with a model, with the picture. So I have 0.9 times 0.3. So they gave me this hundredths model. That TH is important, remember that, okay? Each little square represents 1/100th. The rows are 1/10, okay? So with my hundredths model, I have 0.3 and 0.9. So first of all, 0.3 is 3/10, right? That tenths place is what's right after the decimal, so that's 3/10. So I'm going to shade in 3/10 on my model, and I'm going to go vertically, so up and down. Okay, so I shade in 3/10 this way. Now, to show my ninth, I'm going to change colors, and I'm going to shade in 9/10 going horizontally, so across. Okay, and they're going to overlap. So I have all but one row because there's 10 rows. So where they overlap is yellow. So I shaded 3/10 going up and down and 9/10 going across. And here in the middle, that's where they overlap. So my product is actually what overlaps. So I'm going to count up how much I have in there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. There are 27 little boxes. Now remember, that's not 27 tenths. The tenth is a whole row, right? This is 27 little boxes, which tells me it's 27 hundredths. So my answer is 27 hundredths. Okay? If I counted, I could make 2 groups of 10 here and then have 7 left over. So it's 2/10, 7 hundredths. Okay? Let's do another one. So here, I have 6/10 by 8/10, or 8/10 by 6/10, however you want to look at it. So to start, I'm going to shade my 6/10 vertically, so up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6/10 shaded vertically, up and down. Now I'm going to shade 8/10 horizontally, so across. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I need to kind of box off where they overlap. So I see they overlap starting here all the way up through there. All of that is area where they overlap. So to figure out my answer, I can count up all those little hundredths. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in each row, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to count. So 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48. So I have 48 little boxes. Remember, those boxes are each 1/100th. So if I have 48 of them, that means that I have 0.48 or 48 hundredths. Okay. I'll do one more with the model. All right, so I have 0.2 times 0.5, or 2/10 times 5/10. So I'm going to show my 5/10. Oops, wrong color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't have to be perfect with your shading, just so you know generally how much is shaded. Okay, so I have 5/10. Then I'm going to show 2/10 horizontally. Go all the way over. Now what overlaps is this part right here. And in that part, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have 10 hundredths, which is also the same as just 0.1, which is 1/10. Okay? All right, we're going to not worry about 4 right now. Go to the next page. So now, what if we have numbers that are larger than 1? So we're not going to use the model for this one. We're going to just kind of cross that out. Because I think with whole numbers, it makes it just look a little more complicated, and I don't feel like it's super helpful. So we're just going to go straight into the algorithm and setting it up that way. So when you set it up with the algorithm, you set it up like normal, 1.2 over 2.5. So you have to make sure that the end values line up. Okay, so I line it up like this, and I'm just going to multiply like normal, like I normally would with the 2-digit multiplication problem. I really just ignore the decimals until the very, very end. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 5 is 5 plus 1 is 6. Now I'm done with my 5. Remember, when you're multiplying whole numbers, after you do that, you have to make sure to put your 0 here as a placeholder, then multiply everything by the next digit. So 2 times 2 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, now I'm done with that. I need to add. So I add 0 plus 0, 6 plus 4, 1 plus 2. But my answer is not 300. Okay, so the big difference you have between when multiplying decimals and multiplying whole numbers is that decimal point, right? So now I need to figure out where my decimal point goes. So the rule here is when you look at the two numbers you're multiplying, this number has one number after the decimal point. This number has one number after the decimal point. So my answer will have two numbers after the decimal point because you combine that. So 1 and 1 makes 2. Okay, so for all of these, I only have one number after the decimal point. So for my answer, I'm going to have two numbers. Same thing here. So something in front, and then two somethings after. Okay? So you're going to set these up. I'll set them up, and then you are going to multiply these ones out yourself. So 2.3 times 1.7 and 2.8 times 0.5. Okay, remember, if you have a 0 over here, you don't actually have to multiply everything by the 0. It's just going to get you 0, and you're going to be adding 0. It's not necessary. Just multiply everything by that 5. Okay, so you're going to do those two on your own, and just describe that process for me. Okay, think about how we did it. Do it yourself. Don't worry if this seems like a lot. We're going to go over it tomorrow in class, okay? All right.